Hello everybody. So I'm gonna make a video real quick and just gonna show you the project that I've got working on now. And this is basically it seems like almost fun project. Well, of course it doesn't look very fun right now, but basically right now I am getting ready to pour a big thick footing. And this is a concrete slab that's been in my backyard for probably 40 years or so. The prior owner had put a shed here, like one of those old metal sheds, and then they tore it down. And then there's a slab just sat here for years. For a long time I'd used it as a spot to throw my burn barrel, which is what a lot of folks use in the country when they want to get rid of things that are not toxic, like wood and card paper or cardboard and stuff like that. So this has been sitting out here for probably 10 years. It's an old water heater that I drilled and shot a bunch of holes in over time. Helps the air get in there. Burns really well when you light something in there. But that's going bye-bye. That old rusty thing was really quite an eyesore after, well, even immediately. But it served a purpose. What's going to end up here will serve a much more entertaining and really the same purpose. I'll be able to still burn stuff here. This is going to be a fireplace, so I'm basically just building my footer right now. It's going to be nice and deep, and as you can see, I've got a bunch of rocks, and these are actually, they look like concrete, but I think this is actually chunks of limestone that were quarried. They were given to me. Some folks off the Facebook Marketplace dug them out of their landscaping. Again, prior owner had done it, and they didn't like the way that it looked, so they dug them out. Then of course I got a bunch of rocks, and I picked up a bunch of old bricks too, a bunch of things that I'm just kind of throwing in there. I've got some tomato cages that got crushed over the years that I'm adding to the mix as steel reinforcement, as well as actual wire mesh that I bought, and that's going in. So hopefully I'll be pouring it really soon. I still have to tie up that last little end of form there, make sure that's square, and then I'm pretty much ready to start pouring some mix in there and getting this set up. The ultimate plan for this space isn't just going to be just a fireplace, though. It's going to be hopefully pretty unique and magic as well. I'll explain the magic to you in just a second, but first, I'm going to show you what's going on over here. There's another hole in the ground, and this is going to be basically an in-ground pool. Something like kind of a cross between a natural plunge pool and a natural plunge pool / hot tub. So what I'm going to plan on doing is, you can see I got an outdoor boiler over here. The outdoor wood boiler is secondhand, but it should function. I bought that to actually heat my house this winter, but that's actually rated to heat a 5,000 square foot house, and my house is only 1,600 square feet. So I said, perfect, that will let me heat my greenhouse. And this is my greenhouse right there. It's underground. There's actually about 7 feet of greenhouse underneath the ground over there. So the boiler is going to go just a little bit left of where it is, and then I'm going to run hot water lines from the boiler to the house, and then from the house to this pad where it's going to heat the water in this pool. So this will be a pretty hot tub, especially in the wintertime when I'm heating the boiler. And also in the wintertime when I'm heating the boiler, that hot water will then run over to the greenhouse, where it will heat a heat exchanger in the greenhouse and keep that warm before returning to the boiler to get heated back up again. So that's part one of what's going on with this project. Part two, like I said, the magic, and this is where things get a little bit fun. In order to kick up the heat a little bit faster than what the hot water boiler system from the boiler will do, I'm also going to add a secondary heating system inside the fireplace. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run some black pipe under in this space right here before it's finished. Right now there's not even a form there, but there will be basically pool there, and between the pool and the fireplace I'm going to have a black pipe sending water into the fireplace itself, and I'm going to construct a kind of a pipe maze that will also double as a wood holder, kind of like, you've seen those metal grate things that hold the wood in your fireplace. And not much different than that. I'm going to basically create a shape, something like that, with the black pipe that will be in the fireplace. And when I turn the fire on, when I light it up, it'll take that water and start circulating it into the greenhouse. So basically I'm going to suck that water out, heat it up, and pump it back in. So lighting the fireplace will be basically adding to the heat, and so I can heat that water up, especially in the wintertime. It's probably going to be a pretty big pool by the looks of it. I don't know exactly how big it's going to be yet, but any kind of BTU exchange I can increase, especially if it's a lot from the fireplace, and obviously fires make a lot of heat. So hopefully I'll be able to really heat up the fireplace, or heat up the hot tub quickly with the fireplace. Now that sounds kind of magical in and of itself, but what I'm also planning to do, and this is where the real magic comes in, is last winter I purchased 5 thermoelectric generator plates, or TEGs. They're also known as Peltier conductors. Peltier conductors are very old technology. They're not new. However, as materials have improved over time, they've gotten better, like a lot of different types of semiconductors, and that's really what they are, as a semiconductor. Basically, they create electricity when you give them a temperature gradient. So basically, each one of these little plates is about the size of the palm of my hand. They're 40-50 millimeters squared. So inside the fireplace, there's going to be a steel plate that will, again, collect heat from the fire, and I'm going to attach all 5 of those TEG plates in a row inside the fireplace, so that they get their hot side applied heat directly from the steel plate, which is coming from the fireplace. The cold side, to create a gradient, is going to be, I'm not exactly sure, but it's going to have some sort of a chiller, like a liquid block chiller on it. And that liquid block chiller is going to flow with either water or coolant. I'm not sure yet, but some sort of coolant will cycle through the cold block to keep the gradient as great as possible and generate as much power as possible from those TEG conductors. The electricity that will be generated by the TEG conductors when I light the fire, that's where the magic will start to begin. So when you just are here and I light a fire, not only will the pump that circulates the water back and forth from this run off of those TEG conductors, but so will a couple of other things, including some LED and or fiber optic lighting that I'm going to embed inside the masonry. So the fireplace itself will have lights that kind of start to light up and twinkle. There is probably going to be a water feature that I'm planning on building into the fireplace. So if you imagine that this is your face, somewhere on this side over here basically is going to have a slanted sort of maybe a fountain or something that's going to shoot out water, and then it's going to flow in a water feature that doesn't actually flow into the pond, but this section right here, and I say this section, not over here, but this back section is going to end up being about 4 feet tall, and it's going to have basically a little stream flowing to the end of it. And then when we get over here, one of the conductors will run a pump that makes it appear that we've created a waterfall where the water is somehow magically appearing in the fireplace and going to the pool. It's not actually going to happen that way. It's actually just going to be water in a tank in a closed loop system that's in the fireplace, and that's really going to actually be for looks. I'm going to call it my rock bath river or something like that. So basically I just kind of want to get the water flowing to basically circulate the water so that it will cool the water. The water flowing in the water feature will really be intended to cool the tag conductors. So that's where I'm planning on getting the water from and keeping it at a relatively constant and cool temperature to cool the tags. And again, we don't want that water into the hot tub. We want the hottest water that we can get out of the fireplace, not the stuff that's been sitting in the rock bath. So the pump that's over here will make it appear that there's a waterfall by just taking one more slurp out of the pool and just shooting it back into the pool somewhere right about where the water feature ends. So it'll have a pump shooting out water out of the top of the fireplace and into the water feature, and then another pump that will suck it from the pool and shoot it back into the pool, just to make it look like it's all flowing this way. So that's where most of the magic is going to be. Still not exactly sure what kind of final design it's going to have. I have a rough idea of what I want it to look like. And obviously, you've just heard my ideas of what I want it to function like. But so this is part one of my magic fireplace video. By the way, if my Uncle Ed, if you're watching this, Grandpa would be pissed if he were alive today and saw how much concrete you left in his concrete mixer. Just saying. I've been banging this thing out for a few days trying to get all these chunks of concrete that are stuck in here, because I don't think that probably helps it work too well. But I am very, very happy I was able to ask a family member for a cement mixer so I can work on this project. As you can see, I got a bunch more big rocks here. These were actually rocks I picked up yesterday from a rock pile I have permission to dig through from a farmer nearby that are just too pretty for me to throw them inside there. Like most of these rocks that are in here, I mean, some of them are pretty cool. I actually struggle very, very tremendously trying to decide which rocks to bury forever inside concrete, because then I'll never be able to see them again, and it'll be like, you know, a lost rock forever gone in the concrete. But some of these are really cool. I'm actually about to get the power washer out and power wash them off and see for sure if I really want to save them or if I'm just going to chuck them inside the footing here and make them a part of the foundation. So that's kind of what my project is here for this morning. So I hope you're having a productive June day, and I hope your summer's going well. And yeah, take care.